sports and entertainment video. A lot of boxing yesterday, a ton of boxing and decent boxing. So definitely gonna get into some bite down boxing. Please, subscribe to the channel if you like the way that any information is being presented or broken down. Do me a favor and hit the like button, so on and so forth. Yeah, a lot of boxing yesterday. The Zone, ESPN Plus, and Showtime. I still haven't watched the Colbert fight over his 11th round knockdown of the Jaime Arboleda cat. I'll get to that later on. I wanted to come on and just talk. Where? Damn. Oh, here it is, right here. So yeah, I wanted to get into. I got some audio of Evander Holyfield talking about his number one fighter at the heavyweight division currently. And mainly just to go along with my conversation from last night, I don't know who the best is between Tyson Fury and AJ. I think if it comes down to execution, which I mean it'll come down to execution. What's good, KO? Man, I cannot find your YouTube channel, man. I'm gonna find it today. Every time I punch it in, I can't get to you. So I'm gonna get on my laptop after this and figure it out. But yeah, Holyfield. I think it's definitely gonna come. Well, I mean, just your. Or maybe that's what it is. Then maybe that's why I can't find you. So you just on with like your Gmail account or whatever. But I thought it still gives you a channel. You just might not be creating content. That's all. I was just trying to sub you back, but I appreciate it. But I don't have a yeah, I think the best two guys are Fury at this point. I think the best two guys are Fury and Joshua. And I love all the enthusiasm of the fans of both camps, But if I had to pick today, got you. If I had to pick today, I would rock with I would lean towards Joshua. I'm not totally counting Deontay Wilder out, but I think everybody's kind of come back and redeemed himself. Fury had the hiccup against Otto Wallin. He came back and had his showing against Deontay Wilder. Joshua had his major hiccup against Andy Ruiz. He came back and defeated Ruiz. Whether you like the way he did it or not, he did it. And then last night, he put away Kubrat Pulev. So everybody's bounced back at this point, except for Wilder. That's why I'm kind of excluding him from the discussion. So what I'm looking at today is all this talking in boxing. Shannon Briggs, and I'm gonna play this. This Evander Holyfield. What's up, Junior? I'm gonna play this Evander Holyfield audio in just a second, talking about the heavyweight picture. But Shannon Briggs comes out and says that AJ. This is why AJ just can't win. He just can't win. So I'm glad that he's aware of this now, and you just go fight. But Briggs says because of the way that Joshua said he wanted to fight, or he didn't say explicitly that he wants to face Tyson Fury, that's a knock against AJ. Tyson Fury comes out and says that the boy shit his pants or something, but you declined the invitation to attend the fight. So we just let a lot of talking in boxing create all the narratives, and then we get out here and run with it however we want to. I just want people to fight. I mean, they're all fighters. If you can sign a contract, you can get your team to put it together. Just fight. Just get in the ring and get it over with. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, that's all I want. Errol Spence comes out and says, I don't know what Crawford showed up here for. You don't? I mean, even if you just, to me, it was just a lame answer. But I mean, if the man paid for his own ticket, if he paid for a ringside ticket, if the PBC or the whoever handled the promotion, the administrative people, I mean, if they didn't get a dude a free ticket and he paid for his own ticket, At least say thanks for attending my event. I mean, but to say I don't even know why he showed up. But the diehard fans of Spence, they didn't have no problem with that. That's what he should have told that boy. That's what he should have told that boy. Stay your ass out on the ring side. Like, you can't even do what we used to do in boxing no more. It has to be, and then people don't even realize it, it has to be choreographed and orchestrated for you to enter the ring. Now you can't disrespect nobody. You can't challenge nobody. You can't call nobody out. Is this shit boxing or is it not boxing? I mean, where all these platitudes and this respect and this decorum come from? I'm tripping. Also, Shannon Briggs, Tyson Fury, you want to call out AJ, but AJ clearly, after he had the win over Povetkin, he clearly climbed up on the rope or whatever and said, hey, Fury, you ready to get off the couch or whatever? So people just ignore shit. They just pick and choose what was said and what wasn't said. Anyway, I'm going to play this Evander Holyfield. I'm also going to talk about my Bite Down Boxing Performer of the Week. The weekend. I've been meaning to stick with getting that on here every week, but I kept forgetting. Gonna touch on Richardson Hitchens' win last night. I didn't think the bull was gonna pull that out. He more than showed out last night for his skill set in a tough division though. And then what else was it? Oh, so let me get to this Evander Holyfield audio. Quit talking about it. This is Evander Holyfield. Earlier this week, he was on the Akim Barak show, Sirius XM, Fight Nation, blah, blah, blah. And he was just talking about the fight with Mike Tyson will probably come together. He said they have had a meeting already. And he said it only took him 5 minutes to get over Mike Tyson biting his ear. That's another thing. We act like these cats hate each other and that they're supposed to hate each other. And that it's all on this disrespectful stuff and true hatred. But behind the scenes, a lot of these dudes, it's a job. It's a job. Oh, I was also going to talk about Bacoli and Sergey Kuzmin. But here's a statement that Evander Holyfield made on his best heavyweight.
I think that Anthony Joshua may be on paper the better fighter of all of them. Because he's a gold medalist and he is a good fighter. And it just, the individual himself is like when you talk about individual, you talk about the heart of a person. What do a person do? Now I know he's capable of being the very best of everybody, but the only thing that what type of person you're gonna be, and you win that. He win if he want to win. I just think that he will, but he makes adjustment. I think that when people can make adjustment, these are the people who are proven to be good fighters. Now,
so that's what I just said, basically at the opening. I don't really care to get on here and hear a lot of cats talk about who their favorite fighter is, unless if your channel is Bronze Bomber YouTube, and all you do is talk about Deontay Wilder, that's cool with that. I'm probably gonna avoid that channel because I'm listening for like broad analysis and content on everybody. So that's just what I said here. Out of the three dudes, two of them have shown me that they can make adjustments at this point. So Wilder, in my opinion, he still got to figure out a way to get back in the ring and show me the next version of him. How can he overcome adversity? I think that's pretty fair. And then that's another thing. A lot of us, we sit on here and we give our opinions and whatnot, and we say what we think or feel or whatever, what we know, what we've learned. But I thought it was dope. I think it's dope sometimes if you can get a person who's done it. Sometimes this affirms what you were thinking or gives you something else to consider, or it adds greater perspective to it. So Does Evander Holyfield's number one in the heavyweight division, does it outweigh all of our individual thoughts on who's number one? Not really, but it's just something to add to the discussion. So, and as like he just said, and did Joshua do that for you last night? Do you still have questions about his heart? Maybe you do. That's fair. I thought he took some shots. Some people wanted to criticize him. It wasn't a third round knockout. It wasn't a fourth. It's a fight. What's up, 503? It's a fight. It wasn't like he was in there fighting the worst dude in the world. The objective of the fight is to win the fight. So did he do it in the 5th round, 6th round? He did it his way. I mean, damn. I thought it was a pretty good fight. It was a little odd seeing him trying to style a little bit, jumping around, raising the gloves up. Of course it looked a little corny, but that's him. But the thing is, and I'm gonna get ready to move on to my bite down boxing performer of the week. Right, Junior. It's man, made me forget what the fuck I was going to say. I mean, but man, where was I? I thought it was a solid performance. It doesn't really because you never know when he gets to the next match. If it is Tyson Fury, we don't know if he takes the same risk. We don't know if he exposes himself. I thought his defense was really loose. I was kind of shocked to see the guard highlight that. It's having a style crisis, though. I disagree that it's a crisis. I mean, I respect you if that's what you think, 503. I don't think it's a crisis. I think he's a little free now that he can do what he wants to do. He's got his titles back. He can still make one of the biggest fights in all of boxing. I just think he's just fighting the fight. I mean, I saw, I think Dillian White came out and said he's in between styles. You know what? Some of this stuff that some of the competition says, that's to make you second guess yourself. Last week when Angel Garcia when he was talking his stuff during fight week, that Spence wasn't 100%. I saw some people, Angel's being disrespectful. He shouldn't have said that. He was out of line for saying that. He's always been out of line. He's always been distasteful. But what he was doing was trying to create some doubt in Spence's team and try to gain whatever edge is possible for his son. That's why he was saying that stuff. Did he really mean it? I don't think so. Like I said, people get upset that people talk stuff in boxing. That's all part of boxing. I was looking at Sugar Ray. I can't think if it was Sugar Ray. He said during fight week, no, he said a couple of weeks, I think Pulev was neighbor. That's when the styling and profiling came out. Yeah. He couldn't really get his right hand to him. He couldn't really get close enough to get his right hand with any steam on it. And I thought that was a little bit of improvement from AJ. Enough head work, enough head movement, enough anticipation to getting out of the way before the shot came, the little quick hop, quick step back, a half step back. I thought all of these little subtle things was kind of improvement for AJ, honestly. I know, Junior, I know a lot of brothers would like AJ to show up for the Wilder fight and just stand there like Brazil and get his head knocked completely off. I know a lot of people who would like to see that. I would like to see a competitive fight if it happens. I would like to see both guys at their best and the best man win. I still think there's definitely a way for, if that fight should happen, if it is in the future, I definitely think that's a dangerous fight for Joshua. Last thing that I was going to say before I get to this bite down boxing performer of the week. Another thing that I don't think people take into consideration now when I sit here and a lot of people are saying I think incrementally, I think it has. A lot of people I see want to sit and talk about AJ's afraid. I just said Tyson Fury said that he shit his pants when asked about him. The one thing about it is this. The reality of it is this. I think AJ, they've sparred before. They've been in the gym before. And I think at that point, Fury may have been the better fighter. He may have been the more seasoned fighter. But I think at this point, AJ has went down his journey, worked on the things that he's worked on, and I think he wants to fight. I'm not going to sit here and say that any of these guys, in any of these divisions, I don't believe that any of these guys are afraid of one another. AJ really doesn't even have to talk about Fury because he could go do a couple of other moves. He could go do the Usyk fight and still make a damn good payday. Like, he doesn't even have to really call and pursue Tyson Fury. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the disconnect is with thinking that he's fearful of Tyson Fury. I think he's also being consistent. But let me get on. Let me get on off of that. I only got a couple more things, and I'm gonna get on off of here. My bite down boxing performer of the weekend. I thought the Masayoshi Nakatani cat, that was a hell of a fight. You know that I didn't even have many expectations for that fight, and the way that Verdejo came out gunning the knockdown. I don't even know how Nakatani came out of the first round. I mean, he almost, when he went down, he looked like he could have been in bad enough shape for the referee to just wave it off. But the dude got up, had a lot of time left in the ring, battled his way back into it. There somewhere, third or fourth round, somewhere in the mid rounds, he gets knocked down again, I believe. And again, he regroups again. This is a dude who was just in retirement. You know, Nakatani had one foot out the door, from what I understand. But we get to the late in the second half of the fight, he starts to see that he got a dude in front of him that's kind of running out of new things to do. He don't really have much else to add to what was successful earlier that's no longer working. And he starts reacting to some of these punches a little funny. And I got to give Nakatani credit, man. He comes back and gets the ninth round knockdown, 2 knockdowns in the ninth round. Comes back and just completely blows him up with the step in straight jab that knocked Verdejo all up into the ropes. I kind of didn't expect that, but you know, Verdejo he got stopped. You know, he was right on the cusp. He was up 78-72 on 2 cards, and then 77-74 on the other. Nakatani just came back and made it real for him. The interesting thing is that they had to take Nakatani to the hospital afterwards. I guess he had some vision problems. I forgot that in the Teofimo Lopez fight, I guess his orbital bone, one of his orbital bones was broken. And so I thought his nose was broken or something, because you saw he kept picking his nose for like the next 10 minutes after the fight. I thought maybe he had something, you know, just his nose was broken or something. But they said they were taking him in because he was complaining about blurred vision. Now, we saw that a couple of weeks ago with the boy, Dubois. You know, he took the knee, caught that hard jab, took the knee, and, you know, basically accepted being counted out from an eye injury. You just don't know. Whatever he was able to summon inside himself to finish off the job, he's built differently. But I like Nakatani. And that win, or not his win, but his performance against Teofimo Lopez means a whole lot. You look at it totally different now. You look at it totally differently now. I don't know if he gets that fight. I don't know how he could get that rematch at this point in time. He'd have to do pretty much a lot more than that, but we'll see. The next thing that I was going to get into, so that's my bite down boxing performer of the week, was Masayoshi Nakatani. Coming back to the Richardson Hitchens fight, I was a little critical of the young man. I told you I heard him on the Akin Barak show earlier this week. He was saying all of the right things. It's just, I was struggling. He is 23 years old. Mendez, I believe, is 34, 35. Mendez, I think he lost a step. But I take nothing away from Hitchens. He boxed. We all knew that he didn't really have that type of power. But, you know, Hitchens is probably one of those young cats, probably doesn't have a plan B in life. You sitting here, you got a dude like Shakur Stevenson that he's friends with. His career has taken off. He's friends with Christopher Colbert. Chris Colbert, he's headlining the show. He's friends with Gervonta Davis. He's a pay-per-view guy now. And you sitting here like you either got to sink or swim. Real talk, you got to sink or swim. And I thought he came out, like I said, he's been out at Mayweather's boxing club for the last 2 or 3 months that I've been seeing on Instagram. He was working on his craft, and he went in there and beat a guy who I thought Mendez was going to walk him down and put hands on him and rough him up, make it physical. But he moved, worked his jab, took a few good shots, took some good body shots. I want to say Mendez landed like 20 more power punches than him. So, again, I don't know what you do at super lightweight, which is a very talent-laden division with a lot of different styles, a lot of fighters with some different strengths. And that's going to be the challenge for Hitchens, is just being a straightforward boxer. How does he eat among all of those lions or sharks? I mean, it's going to be difficult for the kid. But all you can do is win one fight at a time. And, I thought it was a good look for him. I think it's a good look for Mayweather Promotions. I think it's a good look for Mayweather as a mentoring these guys. A lot of these guys joined, they signed. We got a kid out of Cincinnati. I don't know if Junior's still out there, but we got a kid from Cincinnati in Desmond Jarman that just signed with Mayweather Promotions a couple of months ago. He hasn't had a fight yet under that banner, to my knowledge. But these kids signed with Mayweather Promotions and think they're gonna go somewhere immediately, but it's checkpoints. It's checkpoints along the way, and I think here's a kid responding to attention, being mentored. You go out there to the Mayweather gym, you're around some of the best. It's a hell of a breeding ground. So I salute that young man for taking a step forward. I thought it was gonna be a little bit too much for him. Mendez came out and said as much. Josh was essentially a technician and counterpuncher. That's his style. Not the best at it, but that's his style. I thought he attacked. I thought he came forward and attacked. He doesn't attack until the coast is really clear. I mean, I'll give you that. But I think, you can do a lot with a jab. You can do a hell of a lot with a jab. The only thing, with going forward for him, whether it's Wilder or whether it's a Fury, we haven't really seen him fight a guy taller than him, and both Wilder and Fury are both taller than him. So, also the Dayton kid, Quan Mays. Yeah, but Quan, what is Quan doing? He's just an Instagram fighter or Instagram boxer. He stay in shape, though. He stay in shape. I see the Quan Mays in the gym constantly and traveling all over the place. I just want to know, why aren't you fighting more? But I mean, we know right now that the mid-level, the regional, the local, the card, the club shows, we know all of that's really on pause right now. So I guess all you can do is stay in the gym, and he's probably not TV ready. But in all honesty, I guess the Spence fight was probably a little too big for him, the preliminaries. I like the way when AJ was throwing the successive uppercuts, he would shift. Yeah, definitely. Arrow, HL. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying with 503. Is that a knock on him that he's a technician and a counter puncher? I know you said he's not the best at it, but I see more than that. With him getting inside, getting his feet situated to get them to get the uppercuts off, I think the dude is getting better. I think he's more of a cerebral fighter, if we can agree on that and find some common ground on that. I think he's more of a cerebral fighter that likes to see things. Like, he doesn't anticipate. Perfect example. Your dude, Deontay Wilder, he gets to a situation in a fight where it's like it's go time. To hell with it. Like, I've been seeing this opening for the guys that actually will box a little bit and give him a little bit to keep him off of him for a few rounds. Brazil definitely didn't do that. But I'm talking about even Fury and Ortiz. He fell behind on the cards multiple rounds, even to a degree to Gerald Washington. Got you. I agree. But Wilder saw them openings for a couple of rounds and kept watching it, kept waiting. And then finally he's like, I got to make it happen. And that's how he got those guys out of there. I think with AJ being a bit, like you said, a technician, more of a thinker out there, I just think he'll actually put together a way to set that attack up versus Deontay, who was kind of like doing that dive, that dive away right hand that he was straight right hand from outside, where he would get underneath his opponent's right hand and connect with his right hand. He's more of a risk taker. I think Joshua is like risk averse. He kind of finds a way to try to set up what he wants to do, but sometimes we get that finesse boxing thing that he likes to do that we don't want to see, which is a perfect segue, and I'm getting ready to get off of here. I learned a little bit with the Martin Bakole fight and Sergey Kuzmin. I learned a little bit about that. I like to watch boxing sometimes and learn something new. Like you were just saying, 503. I want to see Bakole like show me something. Are you a player at heavyweight? Should I tune into your next fight? Are you gonna be a guy that makes some noise? Are you gonna be in a title eliminator? Are you a threat to one of the champions? Like, what's your story? And dude just boxed all night. And I'm sitting here like, well, when are you gonna? I mean, he stepped on the gas a little bit in the third round, let his hands go a little bit, but the rest of the night it was just boxing. And I'm like, man, I ain't really keen on sitting here watching no heavyweights box and jab all night and stick and move. And like, what is this? So I got a little impatient with the Martin Bakole with his fight. I thought Kuzmin landed the bigger shots, looked to be more vicious, more violent. What's up, Anthony Jones? AJ has stagnated in his boxing IQ and skills for the last couple of years to me from HypnoFist. Really? HypnoFist, I know you said you wanted him to face, you wanted him to work with, didn't you say Calvin Ford? You would have liked AJ with Calvin Ford? I disagree, man. I disagree. And I think if he shows up, I think when he's at that 245 to 249, somewhere in there, or what was he last night? Was he 230s, high 230s? When he can move like he has the last two fights, I think that's going to be better off for him. And I think I think if he's more confident that he's addressed his gas tank issue, I think that's better for him. And I think the only thing that you can really knock him on is his chin and his heart. It's easy to see the only thing consistent is him getting tired in the middle. That's right. But one thing that I said, Junior, was the fact I think he's learning how to fight tired. I've heard a couple of fighters, I think Andre Ward mentions that a couple of times, is being able to fight tired. Fight tired and then also keep a decent poker face maybe your output drops, but your facial expression doesn't let your opponent know that I'm over here down. I'm out here bad, like I'm on fumes. I think he's learning how to fight tired. I mean, you can see last night when he was a little exhausted, like you said in those middle rounds. But I think a lot of these guys are gonna get tired, especially heavyweights. No question of his chin for me, but his stamina will always be an issue. He's just not built for endurance. I think he's working on that though. I think he's improving that. I'm not trying to be this man's defense attorney. I just don't have much criticism based on the performance that I saw last night. I thought a lot of things could have went really wrong for him, and I thought he got through pretty much unscathed. If you saw I posted an article. I just don't think his chin is. I'm with you, HL. I don't think so either. Stamina. I mean, we can agree to disagree there. I think it's a concern, but I think he can manage it. I think it's something that can be managed. That's where I'm coming from. But I think if you check out the article that I put up with a photo gallery on there last night, there was a couple shots that I kind of didn't see real time where AJ's head was snapped really badly, or he took a really big shot. and it's a couple photos on there of some punches that Cool Brad landed to let me see. I don't think he's completely afraid to get hit. I don't. But Pulev is a guy who charges in range on straight lines. Pulev is built to order for a power puncher like AJ. I don't disagree with that. But it was a mandatory. I mean, he had to get him out of the way. He was also out of the ring for a year and like a week or something, a year and 2 weeks. We also didn't know how he was going to respond to not having a big crowd in there. He's a guy used to fighting in front of, 50,000, 70,000, whatever fans. We thought that might trip him up. We kind of look at AJ like he's this dough in the middle of the meadow with shaky legs, and like he doesn't know what he's doing. And that's I don't really see him as this big project. I mean, he's either gonna get his ass whipped, or he's gonna knock somebody out, or he'll figure it out. I mean, that's what it is. But I don't think he's like I don't think he's out here like I don't want to fight anybody. Yeah, Hypnotist. We talked about that on Instagram, and I think he could be better, but he's kind of got the team that he's got, right? I mean, he's gonna stick with McCracken and that other cat that he mentioned. I can't think of his name, but I think him and McCracken can do all right against the next two opponents. I really do. Even if it's Usyk, Wilder, or Fury, any combination of those three, I think he has what he needs to give himself a chance to win in all three of those fights. But anyway, man, I'm getting ready to get on off here. Thanks for rocking with me, everybody that tuned in. Like I said, I just was coming on to talk about what I saw this weekend. I haven't seen the Colbert fight against Arboleda. All right, HL. I think that's a good win for him, an excellent win for him. All right, KO. Like I said, he's in a tough position because he's at all right, Hypno. He's in a tough position because at 130, PBC just doesn't have anything lined up for him in the title picture. So, all right, Junior, man, have a good day. I might head out and find me some of that nearest. I got to go run and get my wife some wine, man. I might have to make a little longer trip and hunt down some of that nearest. Celebrate the boxing weekend. Hey, let me get on out of here, man. I got to go. Everybody enjoy it. Next week is Friday night with Triple G and Sarah's Meta and a bunch of, Matchroom USA guys on Friday night from Florida. Yeah, I already know. I wrote it down. You got Triple G on Friday night against Sarah Meta. And then Saturday, the return of Canelo Alvarez and Callum Smith. I think that's going to be a pretty interesting fight. And then, again, Showtime is up against it because their card fell apart. But we're going to see Jaron Ennis. Boots is on there against Chris Van Heerden. So a lot of action next Friday and Saturday as well. Enjoy it all. I'm out. Peace.